Well, what do you know? Look what we have here. Hello there, friend. Welcome back to the channel now. On today's show, we're going to be showing you, teaching you, and telling you how to build up your characters the right way. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Yeah, today we're going to be going over how to build up your characters and do it the right way. And here's the thing on that. So, we're like a little over 2 months into this now, right? This channel's about, I think it was the 15th of December was like the first, official video. And over the course of that time, I have, looked up quite a few accounts, right? I've typed in the IGN of many different players, and I've seen a lot of good accounts doing things the right way, and I've seen a lot of, I don't want to say bad accounts, but I've seen a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes that are very costly, right? Like, for instance, not knowing about the 4th gear option, or putting physical attack uru on a character that deals energy damage, just to name a couple. And so, there's probably a lot of players out there that are going to already be familiar with the information that I'm going to give you, but there may be some things in here that maybe you don't know. But I can tell you for certain that there's a vast majority of players out there that, maybe just really have no idea what's going on and don't know all the little tricks to the trade and how to do this thing properly. So I think this will be helpful, and we're going to jump into it. So, first and foremost, okay, so I'm just gonna kind of be, spitballing here, just wheeling and dealing, and no infographics, anything like that. I'm just gonna be, it kind of like picking my brain, and I'm just gonna tell you just how I go about building characters, and or just how I would potentially do things. Okay, so first and foremost, so I mentioned it, uru, right? You look at your character, right? They either deal physical damage or energy damage. They don't deal both. And so, like, no, he deals. So if you see right there, it says physical attack, right above where the level 70 is, or right below it rather. So he deals physical damage. So that means you want to put physical attack uru on null. Actually, a good example, because some characters, it says like deals energy. So Thanos is a good one, because I think for a time there was a bit of confusion around this. So he deals physical damage, but if you look at his skills, they have energy on him, right? They have the energy tag, and it says energy damage 144% of physical attack. Don't pay attention to that. Don't pay attention to that. The only place that might be an issue is like Shadowland, right, where they reflect a certain kind of damage. That's where you'd want to be mindful of that. But as far as uru go and putting uru on them, it's all physical damage uru, physical attack uru, right? So all the red ones, well, the red attack ones, and blue are the energy attack ones. I mean, it doesn't really get much simpler than that. And as far as, okay, so I've mentioned this a few times over the course of some videos about building your characters with Odin's blessings. So I'm still yet to do some testing, but my guess is that if you want to like maximize your character, but don't really have like a ton of Odin's blessings, I think giving your character 12 Odin's blessings could be like the magic number, because if you don't need, if all your other stats are capped, like say after the 12 all your secondary stats are capped, and or there's no other Odin's blessing you can give that character that will increase that secondary stat, if that makes sense. So if you have 12 Odin's blessings and then the other 8 are attack uru, I think that is a really good way to maximize the just your resources and your character itself. I think I might start doing that for characters that like I don't need for like ABX and things like that. It's just start giving them 12 Odin's blessings, and then the other 2 being the attack, because you only can have one type of Odin's blessing, and then you can have 2 of regular Uru, two of the same type of regular Uru. Okay, next up. Okay, so 4th gear option. So now I looked up an account, and somebody didn't know that you could actually change. So see the stat here in blue? So that's the 4th gear. The last one down, the double blade. This one here, that blue stat right there, you can change that. So let's go to like the auto change, and then you can select the stat that you actually want. So it basically has every stat. It doesn't have an attack stat. Okay, so you have a great deal of options here. Somebody didn't know this, that you could actually change this. Yes, you can change this. So when actually building a character, like say you're building a character that you're not going to tier 3 or transcend, say it was a character that couldn't be tier 3 or transcended, and like you wanted to get the most bang for your buck, usually upgrading this gear here, the like the top gear and the bottom gear are going to be your best gears to upgrade, because those usually have the most important stats. Like the top one, right, you see it has your attack stat, so it's physical attack, crit rate, and all attacks. And then if you go like to this one, it's like defenses and movement speed, right? And then this one here, it's ignore defense, crowd control, and HP, which you can get these stats in other places, right? Uniform option, 4th gear option, ISO 8, you could just get them from more places. And then this last one here, right, says crit damage, which is really important, which is usually the stat that's most difficult to max out, right, depending on what your cards are looking like. And usually characters actually have, that buff on their skills. They have the buff where, all you got to do is hit the soft cap for like crit rate and or like attack speed. And you have the 4th gear option, right? You can roll that. And the higher this gear is, the more value you get. So right now it's 2077. That's a lot. That's a lot of stat. Like if you roll that, and you can actually see what the difference actually is. Okay, so a lot of people probably know a lot of that information there. Okay, uniform options. Now, I feel like the most important uniform options are going to be your second one here, and then the last one here, because those are your attack options. Now, especially, ever growing more with crafted cards, a lot of these other stats, like, you already have capped out. And like I said, a lot of these secondary stats you can get in other places, right? There's more places to get these stats than getting attack. The only place you can get attack, right, is putting Uru on a character, and then from your ISO 8 set. And then on the uniform option here. So these you always want to set to the attack option, in my opinion, unless like you're really struggling to like on the last one, like if you're struggling to max out crit damage, that would be like before crafted cards and before putting Odin's blessings on characters. That if not attack, that was always set to crit damage for me. Like if we go ahead and actually, if we look at Thor and his uniform options, I'm going to show you. So at a point, you'll probably get here if you're not already here. So look, I have this one: crowd control time, HP, and movement speed, right? Like those could be nothing, and it wouldn't really affect the play style of the character, right? And then these two are of course energy attack, because he deals energy damage. Yes, and by the way, so yeah, you want those to deal the same damage as your character does. So if you go look here, it says energy attack. That's the type of damage he deals. Thought you were getting off scot-free, huh? You already know the sneaky bandit's got to pop in here and do his thing, right? All right, so one thing I want to bring up with you guys, and I want some feedback. Because somebody left this comment. I'm pulling it up now, and I'm going to read it to you, and I have some questions. So this gentleman here, Kumar, says, oh, come on. We're tired of watching Null content. Your channel is all about him. At least don't bring us Null content for about a week. Just check through the videos that you have uploaded. You'll see Null everywhere. I know some people are going to say you're mad and all that stuff, but really, man, this will decrease your views. Once in a while, it's okay. But don't bring us the same Null content every day. Try to be creative like Cynic Alex and try to showcase other characters as well on different places like Galactus, GBR, PvP, and World Boss Ultimate. come with new ideas. I'm not doing this to pull you down. I'm trying to tell you where you're going wrong. I really like your dedication and passion in this game, and I've never seen such an Omega whale, but most importantly, a person with a good heart like you. ... Love you. Thanks, man. I appreciate the comment, and yeah, I'm not taking, you know, I'm taking this in the best way possible. I really appreciate, you know, the constructive criticism, the feedback, and I did, you know, I mentioned this. So the video that he actually commented on was a symbiote video, and the thing is this. So one of the reasons why you actually see like more null content is because, like, a lot of times I'm testing characters, right? I'm not actually doing like null runs. I'm testing like how strong characters are against each other, and null seems to be like the only good place to really do that in the game. Like if I go into World Boss Ultimate, it's really not that much of a challenge. I mean, maybe with certain characters, right? Like I just did the Spider-Man video, and you know, maybe with him, right, it could be a bit of a challenge. And I mentioned, like, you know, maybe I'll bring in like characters that are lesser used. I don't know, like Juggernaut or, you know, somebody like that, and see if they could actually do 99 and stuff, you know, and stuff like that. You know, keep it interesting, keep it spicy. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying, and that's something that I want to ask you guys. If you think that I should start doing, like, you know, just switching it up a bit, because I totally get it. I totally get that seeing null, you know, in the same, you know, over and over again, how that can get a little tired. And trust me, you know, I wish there were other game modes that, like, could, you know, I could do some really, you know, good solid testing in. And but yeah, let me know. I want to hear from you guys what game modes you'd like to see content in. Maybe like Danger Room Extreme, if you guys actually want to see like PvP, or just, you know, anywhere else, squad battle, things like that. So I appreciate the comment. I appreciate the constructive criticism there. And what else I got is I got a little treat here. Now, if I go to my inbox, go to my chest, you know what, here, I'm going to pop these, but I got this World Boss Conqueror level reward. So I got that one, and then I also got this box from Null, and I've seen comments, like, I've seen a bunch of them, people asking to open these chests with you guys, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'm just going to open all of them. Okay, was that rank 3? Yeah, I usually don't get anything good from that. I'll probably stop buying that. A red one, I'll take a red. Man, I always get either dodge or HP. Okay, so I got CCF, and then I got Phoenix Feathers. I mean, you think from the Conquer level one that you'd actually, like, get something, like, really good, but no, you get feathers. I mean, although I, like, kind of need them. Like, I'm actually ranking up Strife, and I was you know, possibly going to do Nightcrawler, but yeah, that's a little upsetting right there. It certainly is. And you already know, I already, you know, opened these with you guys, so let's go ahead. And I did not run today, so I have I only have 2 here. So I only have 2 here. Let's go ahead, let's pop these. Hopefully we get maybe another Awaken. Okay, EOD, it's better than a regular 6-star, I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much right now. Okay, and that's really not good. Crit damage dodge, nah, not good. All right, let's go ahead. I think I should have 2 on these ones too, or maybe 3. Maybe I have 3 here. Let's see what we got. So we have 2. Yeah, I think there was a day that I couldn't play. I was just did not have the time, friend. And dodge. Yeah, I said this in the last one when I opened those, that I have not gotten Odin's Blessing from there in a really long time. When I was getting Odin's Blessing from there, like, left and right. Seriously, it was like at least a couple a week. 5-star. Oh. It's not. Oh, we got a 6er. That calls for an O. All right, there it is. Back to your broadcasting, ladies and gents. Let me know on that comment what you think. And okay, so for ISO 8 set, so it was always like Power of Angry Hulk was the ISO 8 set that you actually wanted to put on a character because of the attack speed and the ignore defense. Now with crafted cards, those stats, like for me, like I'll show you on you know, my card. So I have 40% attack speed, and then I have 67% ignore defense. So those 2 stats I actually need the least now. I went from needing them the most. Like, it was always so difficult for me to max out attack speed. now it's already maxed out. No matter that and ignore defense. So you'll if you right if you don't have these stats already on your crafted cards, or if you haven't started crafting yet, I would imagine sooner or later you'll start getting an abundance, or you'll have more than you have now, and having those on an ISO 8 set won't be as important, which will then give you more flexibility to rolling, a different ISO 8 set. So if you need, right, like let's go to, okay, no. He has Hawk's Eye, right? It honestly didn't really matter which ISO 8 set that I rolled, as far as the attack ISO 8 set, I mean. So they all give the same bonus. Take these glasses off here real quick. They all give the same bonus, right? It's the 12% chance to, when attacking, to increase attacks by 40%. So what you want to do is, now for rolling, so if you don't have a lot of these stats on your cards yet, that's okay. Ignore defense is going to be really important, and yes, attack speed is important as well. But like I said, you can get these stats in other places. And what you're going to want to do is, like, if you're not really familiar with how, what ISO 8 set is going to be good for a character, well, just look at their stats before you actually roll their ISO 8 set and see what stats that they actually need. And that's going to give you the idea of which one to actually roll. And also look and see if they have the attack buff as well, or like the crit rate buff. So if we look over to this guy, it's on his 5th skill here. So he gets, he gets the all attack, all defense, all speed, and then he gets the crit rate by 45%. So the crit rate on Hawk's Eye here, really, he doesn't really need it, right? So like, depending on like where your attack speed is and ignore defense as well, those are the things you want to keep track of, because I've seen like graphs out there or like charts, just info charts saying like, okay, this ISO 8 is going to be good for this character and this one for this character. That's not necessarily true, depending on what stats you actually have on your cards. So you're going to want to check and see what stats you have on your cards, and then before rolling the stat, you want to see what's on the character, because some characters actually get certain things, right? They might have like just naturally they might have more ignore defense or attack speed, or they might have these buffs. So those are the things that you actually want to pay attention to before rolling your ISO 8 set, if that makes sense. And also, okay, so so this would be for PvE, but as a matter of fact, if you look at a lot of the heavy PvP accounts, a lot of them have the attack ISO 8 sets on them as well. There aren't many characters that I have like a defensive ISO 8 set on, and even so on heavily PvP accounts, like Hulk. So I actually have, I think binary power works really well on him. It creates a shield, and this actually synergizes with the HP proc on your card. So if you have like, the HP proc like when dodging from the Gwenpool card, or the other one from the Avengers card, it actually synergizes. I wasn't sure if it overrid it, but it doesn't. So I've seen some of the let's see, the one that increases your defensive, like the symbiote one. Yeah, so spider sense in the symbiote one. So I'm going to say this about these. So for those who are interested in this, or those who actually do this, know exactly what they're getting into, and they don't need the advice or information from me. Like, I'd say for a safe bet, because I'm not sure, to be honest, on these, I'm not sure exactly which characters these would work really well on, or exactly in what situations. Obviously, they increase your defenses, but if that's going to be, say, better, on even a PvP character than like Power of Angry Hulk, is that going to give them the edge, or is Power of Angry Hulk increasing their attack going to be more important? I'd say the attack set, just because it gives them more. It gives them more flexibility, like, they'd be better in Shadowland perhaps, and things like that. Okay, and another thing about the attack buff that you get on the ISO 8 set and some of the attack buffs that you get on cards. So I'll tell you the one attack buff on, so here, let me go to cards here, and I'll show you the exact card so you know which one I'm talking about. The attack buff on, I know I have it, this card here. Okay, where is it? This one here, the one where when hit increases 20% of all attacks. That one overrides the attack buff that you get on your ISO 8 set. So keep that in mind. This is not a good one. This is one that you don't want on your cards. The ones that you want on your cards are going to be the one from like either just past the Loki card. This is a good one. I mean, it's not the best one. Like this one when dealing a critical attack. So I believe this is worth like 5 or 6% towards like physical attack. And then the ones on the Luna or the White Fox card. So like here, I know I got one rolled with it. I should. Where are you, dude? Where are you? There it is. Okay. So this one here, when dealing, 5% to activate when attacking. That's what you want to pay attention to. It's not just the White Fox and Luna card that have the when attacking. I believe the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver one has it as well. That one's worth about 8%. So this one's worth about 8% of physical attack, and then the one on the Luna card is worth that in energy attack. So keep that in mind. Those ones are good. They synergize with the ISO 8 set, the ISO 8 set proc. All right. Next up, so we have custom gear. All right, yeah, I did. I wrote a couple things down here just to kind of stay on pace, stay on schedule. So custom gear. Now, okay. First off, you want to recognize whether you're building a character. Well, you actually want to recognize their strengths. Is a character built more for PvP or PvE? And then make the decision on whether or not you want them to perform in PvE or PvP, right? Like a lot of times you kind of just play to their strengths, right? Like Jean Grey. I don't know many players that actually have her built for PvE just because she does PvP so well, right? And most people, they build her to her strengths. So I have agreed on mine because that is a PvP. I don't care who says it's a PvE/PvP CTP. It's not. It's a PvP CTP 100%. Obelisk perform much better than that. Like Molecule Man, right? You guys, I don't know if you watched the video where I did the whole Molecule Man testing. He is not good for PvE. He's just not. Cosmic Ghost Rider, blows him out of the water in squad battle, and he's just terrible for World Boss Legend. So this guy has a regen, right? So you want to recognize PvE or PvP. Like, maybe you're heavy into AC, and you don't need a whole lot of characters to actually like do PvE content for you. Maybe you don't really try to push Shadowland, and you like to build a lot of characters for AC. So on that note, one thing is really important for any PvP character. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this is guard break immunity. Like typically you'd want to give them like guard break immunity, another helpful stat, and then invincibility if you're building them for PvP. So a lot of times you can get away with like guard break immunity and a proc, right? And speaking of which, let's go over to so this here. So this would be like an excellent PvP obelisk, right? Or like if you have like a proc on it. Depending on what kind of character it is, you just got to recognize the character if they're actually going to be good, if they're going to be better and more useful with invincibility or with a proc. And a note on that, so a little thing that I do, I think a lot of players actually already do this. They go through and they lock all of the custom gear that you get that has guard break immunity on it, even if it's a lower. Like I have a bunch of these locked. I don't lock any more of them. I think I have more than enough actually locked if I ever wanted to rank these up. Obviously, you're going to want to rank up the ones that are actually at a higher value, like heroic, legendary, just because you got to use less custom gear to actually rank that up. And just because, I don't know, they seem to be really rare. Like I never get like, it's like the higher the rarity, the less often the guard break immunity actually drops as the primary stat. Now, and a note on this, like if you, so don't rank up like custom gear that you actually wouldn't potentially use, right? Because, it could be like don't rank up one that has fear, immunity to fear on it. You wouldn't want that. You'd want to rank up like if maybe like a lightning damage, mind damage, or like crit damage, crit rate. Those are some good ones. Ignore dodge is a really good one. And another note on that, I'm finding that like, especially with crafted cards now, like the less you're in need of like crit rate, crit damage, like stats like ignore dodge or even recovery rate or even a resist, could be more valuable than ranking up like a crit damage one. Like if you have all those stats capped, like fourth gear, option, uniform options, you have all the other like stats capped, and like you don't need it. Like ignore dodge. I think ignore dodge is a really good one, and then even like recovery rate, maybe even a resist. But that's something to consider as well. So rank up ones that you could actually use with as the primary stat on a character. That would be first and foremost there. So that's pretty much it on custom gear. And then recognize like if the character is better with rage, energy, or how they can operate, because it's pretty costly. One of the only reasons why I'm constantly unequipping CTPs is because I'm doing the testing, for myself and for you guys out there, for the value of the video. And another thing on ISO 8s. As far as like locking ones to rank up, I'm usually locking like the attack stat and dodge. Like I would say either attack stat and dodge or attack stat and HP, depending on like if you're putting a rage on them, potentially you'd want the like the attack stat if they deal physical damage or energy damage, and the dodge. It's for the chaotic ISO 8 set. Like if you go through and you look at mine like this, okay, I'll lock this one, I'll lock this one here because it's got the attack stat and dodge, and then I've been even locking the ones with HP because now that I have more dodge on my cards, I don't necessarily need, like, I'm not in dire straits for as much dodge as I could possibly find in any given place. So like her, she has a rage, but I have one that, like, before crafted cards, I'd probably need all three of these to be the attack and then dodge. I don't necessarily need that anymore. So depending on where you're at, if you have crafted cards or if you don't, the attack stat and HP might actually even be more important for you. And okay, now next up. So okay, so now when you're ranking up characters, like, so okay, say you just got this character to tier 2 and you haven't touched their skills yet. So I don't have many characters that I haven't done that with. It's just like, some of these over here. So one thing you want to pay attention to is the value in their skills. So most of these characters here, and like for a lot of skills, it seems like on the newer characters, they're making every one of their skills have some type of value that you actually want to upgrade it to the max. Like this guy, like this skill here, if I click on max, what's actually changing? It's just the additional physical damage. That's really not doing much. It's not doing much at all. Like if the percent was actually going to change, then it might be beneficial to max to level it up all the way. But getting the most value, you rank it up to level 2. You rank that up to level 2 because if you go to level 3, right, level 2 it costs you 180, but if you go to 3, it costs you almost 400,000. So level 2 seems to be the sweet spot there. Now, if you come across a skill like, okay, this might not actually be a good example here, but it's kind of a good example in another way, because what is this doing? It applies to enemies, decreasing all speeds by if we go to the max, 15%. Now, is that going to be really useful and helpful? I think not. Like, I'm not going to spend 1 million gold so Gorgon can decrease his enemy speed in I don't know, Shadowland level 5 or whatever stage I use him on, to decrease their speed by an extra 10%. Just no way. Okay, so I don't think that would be good. Like this one here. Okay, so this one increases all damage dealt to super villains by what we get up to 15. Still, even there, like, you know, you got to think about where you're actually going to use this character, and so that, like, for him it wouldn't be wise, but for like a character like, you know, for somebody like, let's see, I don't know, like Ghost Rider. Okay, I wish I had one of his skills to still rank up, but I don't. But something like this, you know, it ranks up. It increases, like, you know, the increase of all attacks, or the ignore defense, or the fire resistance. Like, the more you rank it up, the more that stacks up, and that's something that you definitely want to do. So you got to look at the skill. If it doesn't have much going on it, like this one here, I have to imagine that when I rank this up, that a lot of the percents, like the increased damage, and, you know, by 250, that was probably lower, and so on and so forth. So skills like that, you want to rank up all the way, right? No matter how much gold it costs, you want to rank those up all the way. Those are important. But the ones that just have, like, the damage, and then it's just got, the only thing that's increasing is the additional damage, those ones you could just rank up to 2 and leave it alone. Now, when I rank up a character, like when I'm you know, enhancing their potential, I'll show you. So when I'm going from, like, you know, so if we go to advancement, no, can't advance him. Okay, maybe Blade. Okay, so enhance potential. So this, I know different people have different methods. Some people just go to 100. Some people go to like 50%. Some people do the 10% method. I'll tell you what I do, and, you know, you take it for what it is. I do 20%. I do 20% every time, so I'll show you. I'll go to 20%. I'll go to 20% once. Here, you know what? I'll do it on a character that I'll actually... Okay, Invisible Woman. She could be useful. I like Invisible Woman. She seems to be pretty good for AC, and, you know, probably even Shadowland. So I'll go to 20%, and then I'll keep going to 20%. I'll keep going to 20%. That usually works pretty well for me. It's not really showing a good example right now, but usually I'd say on average it's probably like a total of 50% for me. All right, so I'm gonna stop there. It was literally on the next one that I got. So I did 20% once more, and it's literally on the next one. We'll get her up to 64. Why not? Okay, so one other thing. Now hers. Okay, so I built her like when I was a newer player, and a good sweet spot. So if you don't want to spend a ton of gold, right? If you're short on gold, so when you're amplifying their Uru here, because it could be pretty costly. It could cost you like 10 to 20 million, even more sometimes, amplifying every single one of your character slots. So just amplifying 4, right? If you don't have the resources, if you're not trying to like max out a character, is not a bad option. Like this one here, it's got 4 amplified slots. That's usually not costly at all. Usually you get that, you know, less than 10 10 attempts. That's something. Also, like I see some people putting like HP Uru on a like a PvE character, like even in Odin's Blessing. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Oh yeah, and okay, I don't know why I mentioned this. So one thing that's running rampant across the community is putting attack Odin's Blessings on a PvP character. This is one problem that I see more than anything else. Okay, how you want to build a PvE character or a PvP character would be something just like this. Like if we look at his stats here, so I have dodge capped off, and the fact that I have dodge capped off, so if I didn't, I'll say this, if I didn't have dodge capped off, you'd see more dodge Uru on him. But like if you want to give your PvP character like the best build, right? Your Silver Surfers, your Jean Grey, your Sentries. Sentry might be a unicorn. Like Thanos, Hulk, things like that. Characters like that. You give them one heal, right? If you have it, and then you want to give them 2 HP. And then if their dodge isn't capped, then you'd want to give the other 2 dodge. So 2 HP, 1 heal, Odin's Blessing, and then 2 dodge. And you can do that for every gear. But if their dodge is capped, Well, I'll say this. If you need like ignore defense or skill cooldown, obviously you want to prioritize those. But aside from that, it's going to be HP and dodge. And then if that's capped, then you can go ahead and give them, like whatever other stat like they actually need. Like, okay, so his crit damage is almost capped. I could probably even swap I think I lost some crit damage on cards and that's why. But I could probably even swap one of the attack Uru for crit damage. I mean, you can kind of go either way on that. But that's how you want to build a PvP character. I see a lot of like attack Odin's Blessings on a PvP character like almost like maxed out. Like they got like 16 Odin's Blessings on them and it's a PvP character. It's essentially you don't want to do that. And then you don't really want to give heal Odin's Blessings to a PvE character, right? And as I explained before, I think a really good use of resources, right? If you want to, like if you're trying to give your character a really good build, but you don't have a ton of Odin's Blessings, I think 12 Odin's Blessings, and then for the other two, attack Uru would be a really good sweet spot for that. All right, and another thing here. So this could just be coincidence, but I find that what seems to work better for me, instead of going through, and this is talking about upgrading gears from 20 to 25, instead of going through and just upgrading each one all the way through, what I'll do is I'll do like one here and then I'll go to the next one. Wow, 9 on the first one. Yikes. And then I'll go to a different one. And then each time I'll go to a different one. Yeah, I don't know. For me, call me superstitious or whatever, but it seems like that works better, and I actually get a lower number. It could just be that way, but that's just me. I think that's pretty much it here. I don't think I really have much left to be said about this. Probably, I might be leaving some things out, but like I said, I see in the community that there's a lot of people who need help with building characters. They're building them the wrong way. They're doing things that you just shouldn't do, or not doing things that they actually should be doing. And what else? Okay, so for a character that deals elemental damage, make sure, like, if you don't have a CTP that you're going to give him, like Beta Ray build, he deals lightning damage. Make sure you put a lightning damage obelisk on him and a proc, right? Here's another thing. This is what I wanted to say. I knew I forgot something. So on your procs, if you have on your obelisk, on your custom gear, don't put stuff like this. Like, okay, you either want to put invincibility or you want to put a proc. If they're PvP, you want to put invincibility, and if they're PvE, you want to put a proc. So this here, activation rate 10% when attacking, energy damage, it causes an energy beam to fall on their head. That's been tested, and it does nothing. It does like next to nothing. You want the one, actually it has a sword on it now. It didn't used to have these icons on it, but this one here, like, it's got the activation rate 10% when attacking, applies to self, increases damage by 140% for one attack. Obviously, so it goes up to 200%, and the higher you get, the better it's going to be. Like 120 is pretty low for these. Like I'd say you want it like at least 140, 160, but 180, 200 is obviously going to be better, right? So make sure you pay attention to that. And then the ones that actually have invincibility have this like little golf ball looking thing here. It's actually, I think, is that the same icon? I think it's the same icon it is. Same icon that you'll see up on the upper left-hand side of the screen when your invincibility is actually up when you've hit a skill. And then your guard break immunity is the one with the shield on it. So the guard break could actually have, the, if your guard break has invincibility or a proc on it, it's going to show the shield on it first and foremost. It's going to kind of, right, you see this one, it's guard break, and it has invincibility. It's going to show the shield on it. So, but yeah, potentially you want the proc on it. You want the proc. You don't want one that doesn't have anything. Basically, yeah, that. You don't want one that doesn't have anything. Like this here, I'm not really sure how useful, like the double mind damage is really good, but 20% recovery of max HP. I haven't really heard many good things about this. Anybody who knows anything that I've spoken to says that, you'd rather have the invincibility than the HP recovery. I mean, maybe on, some niche characters like that might work out better, but From what I understand, that doesn't really work out all that well. So yeah, I think that's it. Like I said, I was just kind of spitballing here. I saw, the community. There's certain people that probably need more help than others. And I hope this answers like some of your questions. I hope this helps you out, because like I said, a lot of the accounts that I go and I look up, people ask me, "Oh, roast my account, look up my account, give me, I need some tips on this and that." I find a lot of issues with them, and hopefully, this video could help prevent you making some of those some of those mistakes. And yeah, this game is, it's a complicated game, right? There's a lot of things that are constantly being added. It's hard to kind of keep up, and unless you spend a lot of time actually playing the game, there's a lot of things that you just really might not be aware of, right? So like the proc on the Gwenpool card. How would you necessarily know that would interfere with the proc on ISO 8 set? Like, there's just some things that are just, it's kind of a convoluted process, and, I'm here to help. And, maybe I'll do another one of these actually in the future, something a little more regimented, and, something a little more concise. But I feel like I've kind of hit on all points here. And if there's anything else that I feel like needs mentioning, I'll bring it up in one of the next videos. So I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you already know, you better stay tuned, you stay breezy, but most of all, friend, you stay safe out there. Peace.